really concentrating on foreshadows and some of the foreshadows that God left. We just went over one foreshadow in man and woman, right? And how it was a foreshadow of reapers and gatherers, right? And we have a foreshadow here as well, right? One flesh. Now, this series is only going to be wrong. This video is only going to concentrate on one flesh, one spirit. Let's get started with verse 24. Therefore shall man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. This is explained as a rope, although I didn't go look up that verse, but you're free to do so. We have three in this marriage. It only speaks of two. You have God, the man, and the woman. And the three are twined or twisted together to make one flesh. This is a union that represents the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. That's its foreshadow. We just went over the roles of the man and the woman. God said, I'm not always going to be with man. I'm not always going to be in flesh. There is another kingdom that will be coming, and he's foretelling that, where he will be in spirit. Flesh was only given for a time to build a kingdom. We were to understand the kingdom that was coming through the kingdom that was given. We went over kingdoms a little bit. And you'll see in verse 3, my spirit will not always strive with man. So he's not always going to be with man, meaning this Adam, this fleshly Adam, that he also is flesh. This fleshly person is what God is referring to. And it repented, right? The Lord sorrowed that he had made man on earth. His system that he had created was so out of order. It grieved in his heart. Let's examine that. It grieved him at his heart. Who is twined? Whose hearts are connected? You have the connection of God, man, and woman. And man is out of order. When your heart is out of order, it affects God and it's going to affect the woman. When the woman's heart is out of order, it's going to affect the man and it's going to affect God. That's just the way it works. If you are one flesh and you are one connection, and truly your hearts are connected, just like your heart is connected through God, that's a foreshadow that a man, when he finds his woman, the two hearts join, and you'll see it. You'll see the woman become like the man, and the man will take on some of the ways of the woman. The two start looking the same, and they start acting the same. They take on each one's emotions. It truly is amazing how that works. And it is for our understanding that my heart and my condition can grieve the heart of God. So that's why God says flesh is not always going to be, is just supporting some of the things that I just said. Likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge, giving honor, lifting up, supporting. The man is the stronger vessel, and when your wife falls short, you should lift her up. She is not like you, and her role is hard. I'm not saying your role ain't hard either, The role of the man is to honor. She is your image, and it is to lift her up. It is to support her as into the weaker vessel and as being heirs together. You're together in that garden that God has given you. You're together in that situation. That's your plot of land, and you have a wife, and you have a wife that's going to give you help. It's going to bring forth children to help you, and she's bringing them forth the best she can, and it's for a grace of life. And your arguments and your treating, the ways you treat each other, it hinders your communion with God. Anything that lays a burden upon the heart hinders that communion and that communication. And it strives God out. And once that happens, well, it's death. And you don't want that. That's not, God hates divorce. He hates those ways. But it does happen. And we'll get into a series of that too. Notice there's more responsibility on the husband. He is told here, give grace. Your wife, give understanding, give peace, give support. Wives, submit yourself unto your own husbands. What do you think that means? Does that mean that your husband is the boss of everything? No. He has a role and you have a role. He's the boss of your garden that you reside in. What are you the boss of? What has God set you over? The children, the house. A man will give a woman a house, and a woman will make it a home. A man will give a woman food, and she will give him a meal. She produces things. She cultivates the things that are around her, right? And as Miles Monroe says, if you give a woman trouble, you're going to receive more trouble. She is a producer. So what you hand her, she multiplies. You see, even in the Bible, you will see that that's the ways of the Lord, right? Husbands, love your wives and be not bitter. Don't scold. Lift up against them. Support them. This is one flesh. So how does this tie in to one flesh? Well, the twine or the twist of the rope is three together as one. You have God, you have man, and you have woman. And the way that those three treat each other is the way your life is going to be lived. If there's hatred in those relationships, it's going to produce hatred. If there's respect in those relationships, it's going to produce respect. And it's going to reproduce righteous children, children for the Lord. One flesh has a lot of dealings with one spirit, right? Because we have three twined into one. Well, in the Spirit, God is one. You have the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. And these three are one in union. They don't disagree. They understand each role that they have, and they don't argue with it, right? And this woman may be a teacher, by the way. That may be her role in this kingdom, or a nurse. It doesn't have to be dealing with children as her role. And his role is a garden. It's the house that you live in. He maintains and produces and cultivates and grows. If the woman is pointing out, hey, you see that spot on the roof? When you going to do something about that? I don't know. You see that spot on a kid? When you going to do something about that? I mean, if you're focusing on his job, he's just going to say, okay, have at it. If you want to be boss over this Eden, have it. Go for it. Bust it. And you may be the woman that says, I can do it. And you'll prove me wrong. You will. You will destroy everything that's under you and around you until you produce a garden and a house on it. And then you'll come back to me and you'll go, see, I done it. There's no union. There's no God in it. There's no husband in it, because ain't no husband going to deal with it. And you produced a garden. You were the man. But you can't be the man, because that's a union between God. So you didn't do it. If you want peace and respect in your family, you have to respect the roles that are given to each person. And that goes for the man. It goes more for the man than it does for the woman. When a woman wants to do with children, get out of it. It's her. She is set over that. She is the producer. She is the raiser of those children. And that's the form that God has set. All right. So, anyway, I hope this has blessed you in some kind of way. God bless you.